Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Today is Wednesday and it's 12 noon, and you're here in time for the Noon Report. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy schedule to drop in. And I am your host, Dr. Ron. Man, we got some good stuff to talk about today. Expecting Mr. Lee Michaels to drop in. Of course, we always expect him to drop in, but hopefully he'll make it this time. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is give a shout out to my mentor, Dr. Hunt. Dr. Hunt and I have been traveling in life together for 30 plus years. And out of the 30 plus years that we have been traveling together, he has been a blessing to both me and my family, as well as I have been a blessing to him and his family. So I talk about my mentor like I do is because I want you to get a mentor, someone that you can trust, someone that can help you navigate through life, all of the situations that life has to offer. And if you've got a good mentor, man, it helps make life so much more easier. And then once you get a mentor, I want you to get a show so you can shout your mentor out. All right, so let's get into this thing. I was looking for some information about what is the battle that's going on for this race for House Speaker. And I noticed that every time somebody says, well, okay, I'll run, and then they change their mind because they can't get the votes to successfully put them in office. Well, New York Times is reporting an article on from Mitt Romney, the Republican who ran for president a few years back. He was like a common sense type Republican, but yet he still held strong to the party. But the facts came out that there are 5 crime families that are running the Republican Party. Okay, 5 of them. Now let me take a pause right there and see if I can get in here. You said no. Okay. All right. So we got 5 crime families that are running the Republican Party. And I just feel like we need to talk about that. I'm calling them crime families. So New York Times didn't call them crime families. I call them crime families. Okay. So the first one is the Freedom Caucus. And by definition, the Freedom Caucus is a hard right faction made up of lawmakers who form the Tea Party movement and strongly back Trump. That's what they call the Freedom Caucus, or the Freedom Caucus crime family. The second one they have listed is the Republican Study Committee. It's an older conservative group and the largest G.O.P. ideological faction crime family. The third one is the Main Street Caucus, made up of pro-business Republicans crime family. And the next one is the Republican Governance Group, which comprises many fiscally conservative but socially moderate members, crime family. And the last, the Problem Solvers Caucus. The Problem Solvers Caucus, which includes both Republicans and excuse me, Republicans and Democrats, and focuses on policies with bipartisan support. Crime family. So those are the 5 crime families that are listed that we know of. There may be some other factions, but something I found that was quite interesting, that Donald Trump still had the ability to control those families. Here we go. Lee Road Dog Michaels.
Yeah. Can you
How you
hear me?
doing, sir?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. We got you.
All right. Well, thank you for inviting me into the noon report. And do I have man, I got so much to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. You know what I'm saying? But that's an interesting article about the 5 crime families in the Republican Party.
Now, I call them crime families now.
Okay, that I like that. I like that. Hey, I agree wholeheartedly. Okay, because they are criminals. All
Yeah.
of them. They're all freaking criminals, and it's time for them to go. And I think there are going to be some people like Mitch McConnell and Romney and some of the old guards. They're fed up with it, you know. And I'm glad to see that some of them have already announced their retirement. Goodbye. Kick rocks. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Mick Romney said he's not going to run for the re-election.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's part of the last of the Mohegans in terms of somewhat, you know, with an IQ 2 points above plant life. But he's suspect too, just like the rest. So Mitch McConnell needs to be rolled out of the wheelchair and sent back down to Kentucky and never be heard or seen from again.
Well, he ain't gonna remember. He ain't gonna remember when they roll him because he can't remember now. Is that boy being mid-speech? He's in mid-speech and freeze up. He's done it more than once now. So I think he has stopped making public speeches because they don't know when he's gonna freeze up again.
I know, and I'm sure it's happening behind the scenes, not when cameras are around, because that's a condition that's, you know, it happens. You have no control over it. So goodbye, Mitch McConnell and all the rest of these clowns and these new fools. You know, that asshole up in New York. Oh, I'm sorry. George Santos.
Oh, my God.
Why is he still around? Why? Under what conditions is it okay for this jerk to still be in office and collecting a paycheck? Legitimately, he's got a paycheck now. He's not stealing, robbing, and taking from other people. So, you know, he needs to go right now.
You know, he got I think I reported on this about a week or so ago. He had 10 more charges dropped on him for credit card fraud of people that have given him money, you know. So they got him really, really under the gun. Now he put on a performance about a week or so ago. They were talking about trying to throw support behind Israel. And somebody on the floor said, well, what about Hamas? You know, and then he had a hissy fit screaming and storming out of the chamber, talking about all of us should support Israel. Forget Hamas, you know, but it's a war on both sides, and they got innocent victims, you know, on both sides.
Well, the people in Palestine, the Palestinian government, obviously is weak. They allowed Hamas to come in and take over their country. So I put some blame on them. They didn't jump up and down and say, no, we don't want you in here. They didn't ask for help to get those assholes out of there. They allowed them to come into their country and take over. And now look at the mess they're in. And innocent Palestinians are dying because of.
Hold on, we lost you for a second there. Hold on. We lost your audio. Your audio is gone. Yeah, your audio's, you know, no, we heard you a little while ago. And then I kicked out your other phone, and then I guess that's what killed the audio.
Mike?
There you go. Uh-oh.
Can you hear me now? You muted me.
Yeah. Yeah, what happened was you had an open mic and open space in there. I just kicked it out. So yeah, so it must have
Okay.
muted
So
it.
what was the last thing you heard me say?
We were talking about the Palestinians being weak.
Yeah, they were weak. They allowed Hamas to come into their country and take over. I don't know what the pimp ass Hamas people said to them, but they obviously pimped them out and made promises and all of that, and all these rat tunnels they have all over the country, and it's crazy, man. And now
Yeah.
here's a problem that's got my brain all twisted. And yes, I need a damn haircut. Okay, I need a haircut. I'm going as soon as the show is over. We'll go get a haircut, get the snowball off my head.
No, nobody noticed it until you mentioned it.
Oh, okay, all right, my bad. So here's the thing. It's now being said that for about 2 years, this attack on Israel has been in the planning, in the making. How is it that, with all the intelligence that Israel and its allies have, they didn't get wind of that? How in the hell can you dig tunnels all over the Gaza Strip and nobody noticed it? Nobody saw it. Where did all the dirt and rock go? They got hundreds of miles of tunnels. Where is the damn dirt and rock?
Well, you know,
where did they put it? How could you not see thousands of dump trucks carrying shit, dumping it off somewhere?
Well, you know, my personal opinion is I think that Israel gave them enough rope to start this war. So now they've got the ability to be able to do what they really want to do, which is all they spoke about since this war started. Now, it's a war now. It's not a conflict. It's not something that we can resolve.
Yeah.
You know, they got what they wanted. They got their war, and they wanted to be able to declare a clear and defined enemy, which is Hamas. We're going to wipe Hamas off the face of the earth, quote unquote. So I think Israel, you know, got what they wanted. You know, they allowed them to do what they did so that they can get to this point where it's like, because they're ready. They've gone in. They say they're not trying to kill many hostages, but at this point, they don't even care. You know, they are in there wholeheartedly, you know, dropping bombs, you know, raiding villages and doing what, you know, people that wanted a war do. Okay. So whether they were,
you're right. You're right in that analogy, Ron. But see, I'm one of those believers that all is fair in love, war, and radio.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a war going on between the the Gaza Strip / Hamas / the Palestinian people, who appear to be victims at this point, but they created them. They put themselves in that place. They knew they were asking for an ass whipping.
And I've said this several times. There's not going to be no winners at the end of this. There's no winners. This thing is, you know, because Hamas is not going to lay down and let you roll over them, you know. So, and then they got Iran. Iran is backing them. So they got some, you know,
and other countries also align themselves with Hamas because Hamas, like Al Qaeda and all the other thugs out there in the Middle East, have convinced these people the promised land. They promised them something. You don't just roll over and give a bunch of thugs your country and allow them to do whatever they want to do unless they made a deal. So let's make a deal was the problem.
You know what the common denominator with those groups are, that they're Islamic. So based on the same religious belief, they're drawn into this, and now they got to obey what the, you know, general leader or the commander in chief or the main mosque leader says. Okay, let's just go at it.
Well, but the Quran doesn't speak to to the kind of thuggery that's going on right now. So the religion has been hijacked by thugs and pimps.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. You know, you can, just like the Bible that we know as Christians has been modified, sliced and diced, reinterpreted 4,000 times. We don't know
Absolutely.
what the original Bible looked like because it's been modified so many times and interpreted. So what we know today as the Bible, the New Testament, the Old Testament, who knows what the spin is on it? If you go buy a Bible right now in any religious bookstore, who knows? So the same thing has happened to the Quran. It's been sliced, diced, modified, interpreted the way they want it to whatever meaning they want that works for them and their plight. So,
Absolutely.
you know, I can spend 5 years on discussing religion and all of that, but it's one of those personal, sensitive subjects to a lot of people, and I know I will offend somebody, but I think it's all, you know,
all about the money, about the
suspect.
Benjamins, brother. It's about the Benjamins. All right, I got something that's right up your alley. The FCC on Tuesday met with advocates trying to block Fox 29 News Philadelphia broadcast license renewal. Why it matters, petitioners with the Media and Democracy Project say WTXF TV, one of the Fox network's largest outlets, undermined democracy by spreading election dysfunction. Now that's being reported by Axios. They're saying that Fox license is, you know, in question, and if they're successful with getting Fox license taken away, you know, in Philadelphia, then they can successfully go after other Fox News networks and across the country that did the same thing.
Well, you know what? That's great that someone is going after it. That's a local TV stations, not the Fox News network, cable network, which is the mothership that feeds a lot of the dis and misinformation to the local stations. So there are a number of Fox owned and operated local television stations around the country that they could go after. Will that stop the spread of misinformation? Probably not, because the cable is still going to be spewing the same BS. Now, I haven't been on top of all of the FCC rules and regulations and modifications of late, but what I remember is the FCC really doesn't have full autonomy or control over cable channels because they're not, quote, public airwaves, but they are now because you have the streaming apps and some of the local stations, as the station in Philadelphia is carrying their message. So it should be under the Federal Communications Commission authority, in my opinion. But I'm happy to see that somebody's going after these clowns, and that's the only way you're going to stop it. Now they're gonna cry freedom of speech and all that bullshit, you know. But freedom of speech doesn't give you a right to spew bad information, wrong, lies, and spin that works for you and hurt other people. That's where we have to make a clear distinction between freedom of speech and bullshit. Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's lying. Yeah. That's why Donald Trump is in the shape that he's in, and 400 or 500 different charges that he has over him right now, because he lied.
Exactly.
He lied. I'm waiting for some charges to come out about COVID-19 on him because he lied about that. A lot of people, millions of people died.
Right.
Because of his lies, and the clown ass doctors around him that supported his lies need to be locked up too.
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime a sitting president tells you to go and intravenously ingest Clorox bleach into your body,
or drink it,
or drink it, you know. And immediately the next day, Clorox says, do not put Clorox
any
bleach
circumstance.
in any form or fashion into your body.
Right. But you know what?
Insanity.
Listen, I didn't hear or see that message from Clorox, and I think maybe you or somebody else told me about it. But I certainly heard the president of the United States over and over and over again give out bad advice, and the doctors that support, the scientists, doctors that supported his lie. You know, that message was loud and clear because he was on TV every day, 2 or 3 times a day, with the same BS over and over and again. That is the message or the methodology of a dictator.
Right.
Tell the same lie over and over and over again, and the weak-minded people that can't differentiate the truth from bullshit are the victims. You become
Absolutely.
brainwashed. And I know a lot of my friends, some of my buddies, their wives have been corrupt by this stuff, man. And I'm going, how could you allow yourself to be misled and as clear as a bell?
Yeah.
That is a lie.
Well, it's how programming. You only hear one thing and you hear it enough, then you start believing it.
That's
Now,
it.
speaking of Trump, what do you think about all his lawyers flipping and taking deals on him over in Atlanta? That's huge. At
Well,
least 3 to now.
it's like falling dominoes. One domino at a time fall against one. At the end of the day, they're all going to go down. And at the end of the day, at the end of those falls, here lies the big orange criminal, and they're going to get it.
Yeah,
get it. All the truth is there.
She had network coverage when she pleaded guilty on this week, or last week, to all the charges and the fact and what she got sentenced to. They hurry up and sign her up. And she was one of the lead attorneys in this disaster that they came out with, talking about, oh yes, a fake election.
Who is Sidney Powell you speaking of?
Yeah, the lady attorney, yeah.
Sidney Powell. Well, let me just say this. All of the attorneys that have pled guilty, as far as I'm concerned, they got a sweetheart deal because nobody's going to jail. They're getting probation and some public service and some little mediocre fine. My question is, do they lose their law license? That's I think that should be part of the deal. You can no longer practice law because you have no freaking credibility ever, and you should not represent anybody, even in a car collision. Nothing. You should lose your damn license, and they all should have gotten at least 5 years, as far as I'm concerned. I'll tell you what, Dr. Ron, you go try that. You try it and see what you get. If I tried that, I know my black ass is going to jail.
Yeah, I think it's part of their license. They can never be convicted of a crime.
Or they
so
can't
I'm not
commit a crime.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think that's part of
a felony.
Yeah,
but no, you already committed one.
Right.
Right. How about some hard punishment for the lies and deception that you already committed?
Absolutely.
$5,000 fine and some public service, 100 hours or whatever, and probation, and a short probation.
But the main thing is she's a star witness against Trump. That's the main thing.
I understand that. But that's a soft slap on the hand as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you gotta have some of them to roll over in order to be able to get to the big dog. Yeah. Look, let me throw this out there. Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. is trying to go to the Department of Justice and the FBI Attorney General to push for an investigation against Governor Abbott in Texas for weaponizing and sending all those migrants to all those only to the Democratic cities. If he were fair about it and send like one group to a Republican city and one group to a Democratic city, he's not doing that. Only to Democratic cities has he weaponized the migrant, buses and planes that are flying all the way to places where people now are dumped on your doorstep and you were not expecting it. It was no correspondence. The mayor of Chicago, Johnson, was supposed to fly down to the border and talk to them and like, please, we can't take no more. But those type of things just encourage them to do even the more, send more, send more.
Okay, you know what I would do? If I was a mayor of Chicago or New York or LA, San Francisco, wherever they're sending people to Martha's Vineyard, I'd say, listen, when the people get off the plane, say, look at here. I'm sorry, but a criminal down there in Texas sent you guys up here uninvited. I don't have the resources to take care of you and help you migrate into the culture of this country. So I'm sending you back. Put them on a plane, bus, whatever way they got there, send them back to Governor Abbott, a guy who's sitting there in a wheelchair. He has physical problems himself and has no sympathy for these people who have gone through hundreds or thousands of miles to cross the border to get to a reasonable life and an opportunity in America. Now, I know that sounds a little crazy and more hardship on those people, but it'll get him to understand you just can't do this shit and get away with it. It's wrong, and it should be against the law. It should be a federal issue, and you just pick up a bunch of people and move where you want to move them because you don't want them in your neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Well, guess what, Mr. Abbott? Your state is right next door to Mexico, and those people are coming into America. Your state is a part of America, okay? Whether you like it or not. Stop being a racist piece of shit and take care of these people. Give them some type of hope. Your ancestors came over here some kind of way. Where are your ancestors from?
All right, because he's not indigenous.
Right. Where did your folks come from?
Absolutely.
They came here. I bet some of them might be criminals. I don't know. I'm gonna do some research on his background. Let's find that out.
All right. Now, quick shout out to the UAW. They have successfully pulled in all of the workers from all the major automobile makers. They're on strike. We support them 110%. Keep striking and get what you deserve to get. Because when they had one of the union leaders make a comment that, look, we're working and we can't even afford to buy the cars that we're making. That's how low on the pay scale that we are. They're not even giving us enough money,
right,
to buy the cars that we help make,
even with the employee discounts.
Right.
That's horseshit.
So that's saying something. That's saying a lot.
I think they need to negotiate a deal in there, not only better wages and benefits and what have you, but every 4 or 5 years, every employee ought to get a car for free. Yeah,
that would be.
If
powerful.
I was the president of UAW, that's one of the things I'd be pushing for.
That would be powerful.
Yeah.
Let's help keep America strong for real.
That's right. Now, yeah. I hope that they can negotiate a deal and get all of the UAW members back to work as soon as possible, because I want to buy a Cadillac Lyric, electric new sedan. They've only made 2,000 of them, from what I understand, and that's in over the last 12 or 24 months, where Tesla is not a union shop. They are putting out 1 million or more, 2 million cars a year. Why in the hell are they allowed to get away without being a union shop? Now, you know me, I don't like Elon Musk at all. I think he's as bad as Trump. The only difference is he may have more money than Trump.
Well, yeah, Trump ain't got no more money.
I think he only owns about 20 or 21% of the company, the majority of the company is owned by Chinese entities. Did you know that?
Yep. That's why he went over there and opened up another plant at the early part of this year.
Yep. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's a foreign car manufacturer. He's from South Africa. I think he is a U.S. citizen or whatever, but still, I mean, this guy gets away with all kind of crazy. He's as bad as the people that run Uber and Lyft. They're criminals too. They push down shit all over the country, make little municipalities, counties, and cities and states do what they want to do. That's how they become so big, and damn near run the cab industry crazy.
They did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, I got one more last thing on my list today. We lost the legend in the entertainment industry yesterday. Richard Arnold Roundtree, 81 years old, passed away from cancer. 5 decades in the entertainment industry, making movies and doing things. I could not end the show without giving a shout out and showing some love to him and his family. I did not have direct contact with him, but I had indirect contact with him. A very good friend of mine, Bill Cherry. Shout out to Bill Cherry, who passed away decades ago. And he worked directly with Roundtree in his career in the early days. So it was, definitely a person that you can see his excellence in his work. He was a great, great influence in everything that he touched. And not to mention the Shaft series, it took on a life of its own, Yep.
He was a pioneer, from through the 60s and forward, moving forward. And he will be missed. And I agree with you. It's good to give him his flowers that he deserves. And he made a mark for others to follow.
Yep.
And that's what a lot of black pioneers have done. And I salute Brother Roundtree.
Job well done, sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So look, if you guys are interested in joining us here on Street News Now, we have opportunities available. Go over to streetnewsnow.com, fill out the form, and somebody on the administration will get back in touch with you to help you put your show together so that you can be right here on Street News Now. Plenty of opportunity available, but you need to strike now. We're going to be making some changes in the new year. So we look forward to having you on board with us as we go forward in the new year.
Some of the positions that I'd like to see filled, people who are willing to do some street reporting. All you need is your cell phone. You can record it, upload it to our website. We'll put it into the appropriate category on streetnewsnow.com. You could write articles. Okay, you can do audio podcasts. So you got 3 different things that you can, how you can contribute. Do audio, video. All you need is a cell phone, or if you've got a
Your signal froze up there, Lee. Yep, we lost him altogether. All right, so yeah, don't hesitate. Come on board. You blacked out there. There you go. Now you're back. Go ahead.
Yeah, some jackrabbit called me on my phone from Columbus, Ohio. Anyway, so you can contribute to the network through an audio podcast, video podcast, or live stream, or if you are a writer, a news reporter that you are more comfortable with writing because you look like Dr. Ron and Lee Michaels and you don't want to be seen, that's okay. You can contribute to Street News Now in various ways. So even if you a web guy or lady and you want to help us build the website out, we are open to that as well.
Absolutely. Now, the last thing is I want you to subscribe like, and share. Please subscribe, like, and share. Click that subscribe button, like, share, send it out to all your friends and family. Tell them there's some crazy people on you know about, see about, hear about. Check on us from time to time. We need your support. So please continue coming back. And I thank you. I can't thank you enough. So Lee, you got the final word, sir.
Well, thank you to all the viewers and people who watch our broadcast. We appreciate you, and we're trying to grow the network to serve the people, spread the truth, and knock down the lies. And if you are down with that, then we're down with you. Go to streetnewsnow.com. And there's a sign up form. Put your information in there, either Ron or myself, or somebody we get hijacked in the back in the trunk there will get back to you. That's a joke.
Peace, y'all.
Bye bye.